Hello, my name is Mara, and welcome to my channel for my May wrap-up. So this month I kind of didn't do as good. This has been my worst reading month so far this year. I only read 6 books, and none of them were 5 stars. I had three 3-star books and 3 4-star books. Some are 3.5, some are 4.5. I'll get into that as we go through this video, but yeah. So let me go ahead and start with the book I didn't like the most, or like the worst book of this month for me, I guess. My lowest rated book of this month, and that is Viper by Naomi Lucas. This is a alien romance between a human and a Naga, and I kind of enjoyed this book. I'm definitely excited to continue on in the series, but I just feel like it didn't hit 100% for me. It's not something that I'm gonna really remember a whole lot and that I'm gonna love. So this book follows Vriksha, the hero, who is a Naga, and he's on Earth. He's lived on Earth for a while now, and the humans they are exploring Earth, kind of. They're coming back to it to explore it more and find technology. And when they land, he meets the heroine. He sees her and he wants her, but he doesn't know how to get her. And then later, one of the other Naga males makes a deal with the humans of that ship to basically take the human females, the 2 females that are there. And so in exchange for receiving the women, the Nagas will give them some technology that was left behind by another species when Earth was kind of taken over previously, like centuries ago. And so they do that, and basically the thing is that the females, they are going to run and the snakes are going to chase after them, and Vriksha catches the heroine. She doesn't want to go with him, but he ends up winning, and I think she runs away. Anyway, so this book, yeah, so it's a little complicated, and for me, I understood it. I was not that confused, but I don't know, it wasn't fully there for me, and yeah, so I did enjoy, I thought the hero was really sweet for not knowing much about humans and not knowing much about females, because basically the Naga females left, they all left the males, and so they haven't been around females much, so they're very horny. And so the hero, he's trying his best to be nice and respectful, but he doesn't really understand that. So yeah, but there's a huge survival aspect of this book. If you like that, you'll probably like this book. And yeah, and then the next book is The Doctor by Nikki Sloan. I was really disappointed in this because I read The Pool Boy in April, and I thought I would love The Doctor, but it just didn't hit as hard as The Pool Boy did. I love the hero, I love the heroine, but for some reason it just felt so long, and it wasn't. It was 180 pages maybe at most, and it felt really long. And this book is about Greg and Cassidy, Cassidy was dating Preston, Greg's son, so it is a ex's father romance. So if you like that, you'll probably like this book. But it also, yeah, so it is an age gap, and basically Preston's not the best guy, and so she's dating Preston and he's not very good to her, so she breaks up with him, and a couple days later ends up making out with Greg. And Greg's been he's liked her for a while now, but he hasn't done anything, obviously, because it's his son's girlfriend. But now that they're exes, Cassidy and Greg decide to kind of be together. And I really I had more higher expectations than I thought. And it might have just been a me thing where I wasn't being attentive enough. But yeah, I will say I liked how Cassidy had a dog named Tripod who had 3 legs and a cat who had a missing eyeball. I thought that was really cute. Made me happy. It made me happy, and she also is going to school to be a vet. And yeah, I liked Greg. I thought he was really I liked him. He was a little possessive, and so I liked that. But I don't know, it felt longer than it was. That was my biggest problem with it. Anyway. And then the last 3-star book, this one's more like a 3.5, is His Beauty by Jack Carbon. This book is a Beauty and the Beast, either retelling or like reimagining book where it's kind of the similar plot where our heroine Isla, her father was caught stealing from the Beast, and he really is not like lenient. He's like, well, you're stealing from me, so I'm gonna keep you prisoner. But when Isla goes there to save her father, she realizes that the Beast maybe wants companionship more than her father, and so he does eventually take her instead of her father. And so she's living in the Beast's castle, who he was cursed and he is a beast now, and pretty much stays a beast. Yeah. And so she has to warm up to him, and he has to warm up to her, and he's just he's described as being this really harsh guy who doesn't have compassion for anyone, and you learn why, and it's really sad. But I enjoyed this book. Once again, I feel like I thought it was a little long, but I did enjoy it. And I thought that their relationship was really cute. I really enjoyed how they stood up for each other, like at the end, kind of. That was really good. Yeah, I loved it. I love the ending, kind of. The fight scene. Yeah, that was amazing. And then the next book, we're going into the 4-star reads now, is The Happily Ever After Playlist by Abby Jimenez. I enjoyed this book. Like, I just like have iffy feelings about it. Like, I am excited to read more by Abby Jimenez, but for some reason I can't give this a 5-star as well as the other one I read by her. This book is about Sloane and Jason, and Sloane recently lost her fiance, I believe. Well, not recently, it's been about 2 years since she lost her fiance, and one day while she's driving, a dog hops into her car, and she tries to call the owner. He does not respond, and so eventually Jason, the hero, does respond to her and is like, okay, I'm so sorry, I was doing this. He's a musician, so he was like I think he was backpacking. He was in Australia, and he's like, I would like my dog back, please. And she's like, no, you have not taken care of your dog. He had like a UTI. And so she decides not to give him back his dog. But then he like shows her that he really does care for Tucker. And so she's like, okay, whenever you are ready to have your dog back, I will give him to you. And so they start texting, and I really enjoyed that aspect of the relationship. And then they meet, and it's really cute. But also, Jason, like I said, is a musician. He's kind of pretty famous. He was recently like in kind of a relationship with another famous singer, and that is the part that like bugs me so much. Like, everything else was great. Like, there is grief in this book though, like I mentioned. And that really got me. Like, it made me really sad. And I loved like her relationship with the family, and how being with Jason helped her to kind of deal with her grief and move on. And yeah, I enjoyed it. But the other woman, man, I hate that so much. I would rather anything else than that trope. And that's the only thing holding me back, really. And then moving on to my 2 more so favorite books of the month. The first one is Bound by Temptation by Cora Riley. I think I'm going to give this one 4.5. Yeah. I'm still trying to read Cora Riley. I will obviously stop eventually, but I do want to get to a few of her other books. But I was really excited for this one. I will say I do not think I liked it more than Bound by Hatred, because I really loved Mateo and Gianna, but I do love Liliana and Romero. I love Romero. I love his character in the first books. I will say I did not like his character as much in this book, but in the other books, I loved him. But this one's a age gap romance. It's a very iffy age gap, but it is a mafia romance as well. And I did really like this book. Like, I love the relationship and kind of their secrecy, but I did not like one of the things that happened in this book. Like, I did like that she kind of stood up for herself eventually, but I didn't like before that when she was like, oh, I don't want to make difficulties for anyone. Like, girl, no, you deserve more than this. You deserve more than whatever that was. And so, yeah, that annoyed me, but I did really like the kind of secrecy and the like tabooness of it. So yeah, and I love bodyguards, like him and Mateo. I love them. They are so far my favorite heroes in this book, in this series. And so yeah, and then the last book I read, well, not the last book I read in May, but my favorite book of May, and that is Echoes of You by Catherine Cowles. This is one of my favorite Catherine Cowles books. This was a second chance friends to lovers romance where about Maddie and Nash, and they grew up together in this small town, and Maddie recently comes back into town after leaving her ex-fiance, who is not a good guy, and she meets Nash, who immediately resumes the role of being her protector. When they were younger, he kind of wanted to be that protector, but he wasn't, strong enough and big enough to be her protector. Her family was not good to her either, and she would always come to him for comfort, and he was always kind of like a security pillow blanket for her, and I really like that. Like, I love the flashbacks. And yeah, so she comes back, and she doesn't really want to, like, be a burden, but Nash is like, no, I'm gonna be there. Like, I'm gonna be there every single day for you, only when bed, because he stays at her place a lot, and I really loved it. I loved Maddie and Nash. Oh, so good. I loved it. There's a gift that Nash gives her, and I love it so much. I love this book. Oh, it's so good. Yeah. But like I said, trigger warning for like abusive relationships. Major thing in this book. There's the who did this to you trope. So yeah. That was my favorite thing I read this month. And also one of my favorite Catherine Cowles books. Catherine Cowles books so far. So yeah. That is it for my May wrap up. I hope you enjoyed. Like I said, not my best reading month. Probably not my worst overall, like maybe not this year, but other years compared. So yeah, that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you want to see more wrap-ups or more videos like this one, and subscribe. And yeah, I'll talk to y'all later.